Let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a digital magnifying glass to the ecosystem of a massively popular YouTube page. We're going to analyze exactly what themes, what visual cues, and what underlying algorithms perfectly capture and hold human attention. To do this, we're essentially going to become data detectives. We'll map out the viral mystery ecosystem, break down the anatomy of the sidebar, explore themes of extreme survival, look at the global appetite for this content, and wrap up with some algorithm quirks. Let's talk about a massive number for a second. Over 3.3 million. That's the view count for our primary subject, an explainer titled, "Even Scientists Were Surprised to See These Mysteries of the Amazon Rainforest." That instantly establishes the sheer scale of the ecosystem we're investigating here. I mean, over 3 million people clicked on that single premise. But as you'll see, that click, well, it's really just the beginning of the journey. So, Section 1, the viral mystery ecosystem. This brilliantly illustrates what happens the second you finish watching a nature explainer. The algorithm instantly pivots from the actual scientific mysteries of the real Amazon rainforest straight into the realm of the eerie. It serves up things like the top 10 creepiest abandoned places in the world, which alone has over 1 million views. It's totally designed to keep you hooked by shifting from natural curiosity to a lingering sense of unease. And if we look closely at the rest of the recommended sidebar, this unexplained genre pulls together a wild diversity of subjects. We're talking recommendations on everything from the historical mysteries of the Taj Mahal and the Kedarnath Temple, to the geographical oddities of mysterious islands, all the way out to the cosmic origins of black holes. The algorithm doesn't actually care about the category of science or history. It literally only cares about the feeling of mystery. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of the Sidebar. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that the algorithm heavily favors extreme outcomes and deep mysteries. Just looking at the top contenders here, we've got an Amazon mystery with a staggering 20 million views, followed right behind by the harrowing real-life story of Flight 571 with 10 million views. These multi-million view juggernauts completely dominate the viewers' choices, totally overshadowing your standard documentary content. Now, to understand what we're really seeing, we need to talk about algorithmic bundling. It's the process of curating content not by strict genre, but by related psychological themes, things like fear, survival, and endless curiosity. This is exactly how a simple search about trees in the Amazon turns into an endless digital rabbit hole of plane crashes and cosmic anomalies. Which brings us to Section 3, Themes of Extreme Survival. This is absolutely fascinating. On one hand, we've got Drew Binsky's real-world survival challenge, Can I Survive 24 Hours in the Amazon, pulling in 7.8 million views. On the other hand, sitting in the exact same recommendation bubble, we have an explainer for the fictional monster movie Anaconda 2024, sitting at 7.4 million views. So, real-world physical endurance and fictional cinematic monster threats are pulling in almost the exact same massive viewership. The data really drives this point home. Whether it's the gripping real-life tragedy of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 commanding 10 million views, the fictional maritime disaster of the Poseidon movie at over 3 million, or a list of the world's 10 most mysterious islands, disaster stories just command an astronomical amount of human attention. We simply can't look away from the precipice of danger. And you know what? The creators know this. Look at the language used in these titles. This explainer comparing the Amazon to the Congo frames it as a debate over which is the most dangerous jungle. They constantly frame these locations as deadly battlegrounds, proving that fear and the thrill of surviving it is a massive driver of clicks. Just take this quote pulled directly from the Poseidon thumbnail. "Whoever went on this ship didn't come back alive." It perfectly encapsulates the life or death stakes that the algorithm uses to capture our curiosity. It's dramatic, it's definitive, and it practically demands that you click to find out why. Let's move on to Section 4, the global appetites. We've talked about the psychology, but who is actually watching all of this? Breaking down the top 20 sidebar recommendations, we see a massive appetite for localized content. Out of 20 recommendations, 11 are in Hindi or explicitly target the Indian subcontinent, compared to 9 global or English titles. So this isn't just a Western phenomenon. There's a colossal, eager audience for mystery content localized for South Asia. And this perfectly illustrates the sheer power of that localization. The Hindi explainer about the mysteries of the Amazon has a mind-blowing 20 million views. Meanwhile, a standard, highly produced English wildlife documentary on the exact same topic, sitting right next to it, has 3.6 million views. The localized explainer format is outperforming the traditional global documentary by nearly 6 times. The primary explainer's metadata reveals just how active this community is too, with 39,000 likes, hundreds of comments, and importantly, 44 different shorts remixing the original content. This is definitely not a passive audience. Plus, the presence of an auto-dubbed feature highlights how platforms are aggressively breaking down language barriers, so this highly engaged global community can consume these mysteries completely seamlessly. finally, Section 5, the algorithm's quirks. For our final data investigation, you kind of have to laugh at this one. Right next to a highly atmospheric, deeply unsettling piece about the top 10 creepiest abandoned places in the world, the algorithm decides that what you might urgently need to watch next is a compilation of construction fails. Unbelievable smart worker and hilarious fails sits right there with nearly 1 million views, offering an accidental comedic palate cleanser right in the middle of all the dread. And it's not just comedy either. The sidebar is completely peppered with the bizarre. You've got pieces about magically growing apples in the desert, mythical creatures from the subcontinent, and strange rare birds. This weird mix shows that while the algorithm heavily pushes fear and survival, it knows it has to sprinkle in highly clickable, almost magical oddities to keep your feed unpredictable and delightfully weird. Ultimately, creators like Knowledge Mind, that's the channel behind our primary explainer with over 441,000 subscribers, have built massive, loyal audiences simply by mastering this exact blend. They understand exactly how to weave nature, mystery, localization, and algorithmic optimization together into a package that is just impossible to ignore. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to ponder. We've seen the data, we've seen the massive view counts, and we've definitely seen the extremes. But at the end of the day, is the algorithm manipulating our deepest fears to keep us clicking? Or is it simply reflecting the innate, ancient human desire to explore the terrifying unknown safely from the glowing screens in our hands? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning what you see on your sidebar.